I don't know if I have the nervous system for 4 more hours of this.
No, I was going to say, okay, is this the end now? Can we go? Can we partake in some of Paris's fine cafes? Espresso, of course, nothing more than that.
Yes, Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, my lands. That game was saucy.
I need a deep breath. I think I'm going to take it. Okay, we've got a Ruy Lopez. We've got a Spanish. I think they're going to explore a lot of different openings, a lot of different ideas and so on, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, both of these players, especially Alireza, he's expanded his repertoire. A Sicilian player by nature, 1e4 with white. Magnus, of course, can play anything under God's blue sky. And speaking of saucy, we have someone who used to use that nickname here in the studio, Levy. I don't know who it might be.
I think I'm going to go, Danya. I think you've got a guest coming.
You're going to partake in some of Paris's fine cafes. We got Grandmaster Hans Niemann, the 4th place finisher, here in the studio. Welcome, Hans. Take a seat. Give it up for Grandmaster Hans Niemann, who will be joining us for the first half of the 5-minute segment. Hans, you got to admit the commentator's chair is the place to be, having experienced both this level and the ground floor.
Yeah, well, it's you have better air conditioning here. You have good fans. It's right here. That's why. Okay.
If you want to, use my suit for a bit, you might reconsider. But I think you made a better wardrobe choice. Hans, how was your rest and recovery yesterday? How are you feeling today? And your thoughts on the match thus far?
No, I feel normal. I've gotten much better at handling losses and learning from them. And to play against the best is a great opportunity. So and apparently my invitation has already been secured for next year. So it's a little bit less stress to slug it out in the titled cup. Because I barely made it this year. It was the last Grand Prix that I qualified, so I can maybe focus more on classical instead of playing every Title Tuesday for the next year.
Yeah, leave that to the retired commentator GMs. We'll give them more of a
chance.
IMs. And IMs,
their lives matter too.
And Canada Masters.
Yes.
Who tend to do pretty well in Title Tuesdays. But let's start by looking at this second game. We have a Ruy Lopez. No surprise there from Alireza. First game was a very back-and-forth draw, but ultimately pretty high level. No big blunders. Your thoughts on this position here as Alireza trying to outplay Magnus in a very typical Ruy Lopez structure?
Yeah, the pawn on b4 is a bit weird. Like, I don't know. Can you go back? When did he play b4? Like, before he played?
He played before.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay, yeah, this is very...
To kick the knight away.
Interesting, yeah. a5. Oh.
Challenging the b4 pawn, and now a3.
Yeah, it's unclear. It's unclear. Okay, black sort of has everything they want, right? The knight is on d7 already. Yeah, d5 comes. Usually you have this position, but the knight is on c6, so now you have pressure on the a file. I think he's already equalized quite easily.
And now a takes b4. Bishop takes b4 is also a threat.
Yeah.
A little bit awkward, or so it feels. Maybe c7, c5?
Yeah, probably I would presume that you might want to take on e4 and then play c5. c5 first. It probably doesn't make a difference.
I mean, we're close.
Well, now there might be e takes d5 now. Maybe because if you can take and then take on a5 maybe. And you have c4, yeah, so he takes. He might play c takes b4 now. And then there could be...
There could be the record for most successive number of captures here.
Yeah, there's some weird tactics here. It's probably all going to liquidate. You probably want to trade the bishops. I think c takes b4 you should include that, because you can't really take on d5. If knight d5, then ba5, and yeah, so he takes, yeah. You're probably going to trade on a1. Maybe, I think bishop takes d5 is the most principled move.
Playing for the advantage. D takes b4 feels like very drawish, especially if the rooks get traded.
Yeah, see, before you could play rook a8, queen 8, c4. That was probably a bit, it's a bit too much. Yeah, c4. The thing is, once they take on d5, you'll probably just play d4, and then everything's just going to get traded. But maybe could go wrong. We'll see if he can squeeze anything.
Okay, so here the big decision for white. c4 connected passers, but black had the c5 square.
Yeah, but now we just take and d4.
White takes on e5. Black
takes on I think you just take and play d4, and then everything is just traded.
And if white takes on d5, takes on e5?
Yeah, I think you'll play d4. There's knight b4, but you can even play like queen b1.
Okay, so this is 4 moves of successive captures.
Yeah.
This would be 5.
e5 is hanging, yeah, but that's a good point.
Knight e5, bishop b4, knight c6. This is why I don't calculate anymore.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably knight e5, knight b4. It's the simplest. I think it's going to liquidate.
Knight e5.
I like d4. I don't know, maybe I'm... but we'll see. It's very dry. This is the problem with the Marshall. Like, you see a little like 0.25, and then you think you have something, and then Black just plays logical moves, and then the advantage just disappears.
You've shown a predilection for the Italian. Is it because of this? Do you feel like there's more life in that opening? The Ruy Lopez?
It's hard to say. Against Tikar, I went for the Ruy Lopez, obviously because the system he was playing was quite shaky. But then he switched to Berlin, which is, of course, sort of indestructible. So I think in the Italian, there's a lot of life. I think that's probably the most important, like, high-level opening. Because, okay, the Petrov, you sort of just hate your life.
Both colors?
Yeah, for both. Yeah, and then the Italian is like, okay, the Berlin is just it's kind of lifeless, to be honest. Like,
What about the Jabava London?
Yeah, that.
Someone has a chessable course on it.
Yeah,
remember the name.
Yeah. It's fine. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think at the right moment, yeah, maybe in Bullet, I should have tried it. So, you know, there was a point where I played it so much that everyone was prepared against it.
Yep.
So maybe I can bring it back to life, and I think the surprise factor is really everything in chess right now. I think if you don't, it's just when you know your opponent's expecting it, it's just really, especially in a classical game, it's just not enjoyable when people can prepare. Because there's so many lines like against the Jabava London, so it's easy to be surprised.
They keep adding new ones like A6 and H6 now.
Yeah, that actually was invented by Parham Maksudlu. And I stole that idea.
Well, that's what chess innovation is all about. You see something in a Bullet Brawl or a Title Tuesday, and then play it in a classical game, and
yeah.
Chess history gives you the footnote. Queen B2 in the meantime. So White refraining from Knight takes C5. Black plays Queen B8. Feels like maybe Magnus is playing for a small edge here.
Yeah, I think it's sort of imaginary, but it could go wrong. It could go wrong. Obviously, White's position's a bit loose. I don't know. I still think White is completely fine, but it's so solid. There are no weaknesses. Maybe Knight C3. No, Knight 5. No, Knight C3. Knight C5. Okay. I still like White, but it's just so solid. But it's a little bit loose. Could go wrong.
Bishop takes C5 obviously loses a piece because of BC, hitting the B6 knight, which defends the other one.
Probably will play Queen C8, maybe. Or some... It's actually not that easy to choose a move here. It's not... Maybe Queen D6, there could be D4. So you have to be a bit careful. Knight F6, yeah, it's very... Yeah, it's very solid. Now, the next knight comes to D5 or to D7, yeah.
Very Magnus-like move.
Sort of like an imaginary...
Strongest piece.
Yeah. This is sort of an imaginary advantage. Yeah, that's the issue, is that you sort of, with not much time, you can really play these positions quite quickly. And it's just like you're hit, you know, that's what, you know, my match, I was playing the Italian against Maxime and Wesley, and my win rate with White was like insane, like maybe 4 games in a row. And that sort of just didn't work well in both matches here, so. If you can defend these positions well, then okay. See, now it's getting a little bit shaky. Not shaky, but the issue with these positions is that once one thing goes wrong, you start to get a bit nervous, and then another thing goes wrong, and then it's easy to sort of collapse in this time control.
And it feels like Magnus, you know, obviously a lot of things make him as good as he is, but his technique, you know, when he smells blood, he tends to pounce on the first available opportunity.
Yeah, maybe they'll repeat here. I don't know.
Bishop D6. Okay, suddenly he's 45 seconds up on the clock also.
Yeah. Well, okay, Queen B.
What about D4 here? Is that beneficial for Black?
Definitely not. I don't like. No, definitely don't want to close the bishop. D4, E4, Knight E5, Queen B7, and probably have some. Could be strategically risky at some point.
Knight D2 heading for E4. Alireza trying to bail out.
Yeah. Okay, probably.
You're like, this is the most boring SEC game of all time.
No, it's tick. Rick, no, I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
You think Magnus is in the driver's seat here, hitting the bishop?
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. But
Queen C2 not a thing because Black will lose the
there's a little bit of momentum, but it's just I don't think it's enough.
Is White going for D4? Or is that
no, I think White's Queen D5 is probably the next move, or just slow him like G3 because Black doesn't have a move. You know, you could have played. There could have been Queen C2, take, Bishop E5, F5.
Ooh.
And you could try something like that, maybe. But
that was a cool trap, by the way. White could not have taken on E5. I'll show that really quickly, folks. Bishop E5.
Well, the
Bishop
rook moves,
E5,
then you take on B4, and then maybe you It's probably nothing, but it's all a draw.
Rook E8.
Yeah, okay, he's pretending. Yeah, Queen F3. I don't like the structure. I don't know why he's not Queen F3, Rook E3, then Queen A.
F5 maybe, hit the H pawn.
Maybe. I don't know. You know.
What about E4 by black? That seems
E4. King F8. Sometimes you make a waiting move like this, but okay, yeah, I like this rerouting the bishop.
Bishop C1, Bishop E3. Alireza with 10 seconds. He's
Yeah.
obviously so good.
No, I think he's
Little time.
Yeah, I think he's.
Now this is hanging 5 seconds. Rook A1, panicked.
No. Oh yeah, this is not. He should have just rooked you. Oh.
This pawn hangs, right? You can take it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can take this one too. Rook A7 though. Counterplay. Bishop C5 is threatened. Queen F5.
Probably have to. Maybe Queen F5.
Even Queen E6. That seems like a very Magnus move.
Yeah, that's. But the pawn.
He loses another pawn.
Yeah, that's what you see. One thing goes wrong, and then it all collapses.
He was stable for so long. G4 Alireza trying to get a blockade going, but Magnus wins these types of endgames almost all the time.
It's not that simple.
Rook A5, trying to go to A3, maybe get this pawn in motion.
Rook A4. This may be strong.
Ooh, Rook E1. It's going in the toilet for Alireza.
Yeah, that's it.
E3 coming. E2, Rook C1. Or Rook D. Rook takes D4. No, he makes a queen.
Okay, that's good technique.
Yeah, 2 extra pawns should be easy, right? No H pawn. And Magnus Carlsen with the victory in the second game.